What is going on, everybody? My name is Nico, and welcome back to another Pokemon BDSP competitive guide. Today, we're going to be breaking down Latios and Latias because these two legendary Pokemon are machines. They're machines, and I figured I'd do them together because they're so incredibly similar. They're very similar, and Latios has already been up for ban in OU, so I figure I'd cover them together, and if worse comes to worse, Latios eventually gets banned, we can just swap over and you start using Latias. So, I wanted to cover them in the same video because it just makes the most sense. So, if this is your first time here on the channel, make sure you are subscribed for more content like this in the future. Let's get into it. Alright, so, like I said, these two Pokemon are so incredibly similar in their stats. Like, if I bring up their EVs, if you look here, very high special attack, very high speed, move over to Latias, and it just gets a little bit more defensive. That's the only real difference between the two Pokemon, is the defensive stats go up and your special attack goes down a little bit for Latias. Latios is just a little bit stronger naturally, but has less defenses. So that's really your trade-off with these two Pokemon. But all in all, they're both very powerful and very strong, and they can be used in the exact same way. So I thought it was just important. Like I said, Latios was already been up for ban in OU, so cover them both in the same thing. If we gotta switch over, we can switch over. So the first set, and this is the same for both of these, is the 4 HP, 252 special attack, and 252 speed spreads, because with a timid nature, you have a 350 speed, which means you're going to outspeed most Pokemon in the format, such as Infernape, Garchomp, a whole bunch of stuff that are naturally very fast. You're outspeeding with Latios. Now, there are those instances, Scarf, whatever it may be, but just in terms of, maxing out a speed stat and giving it a speed nature, Latios outspeeds most things. The big one I can think that it does not outspeed or has a speed tie with is Gengar or Alakazam, and we'll talk about those guys a little bit later. So, the moves that this Pokemon has are Draco Meteor, Ice Beam, Psychic, and Energy Ball, because it has incredible coverage options, which is fantastic. It's so nice, the amount of coverage that you get with this particular Pokemon. Then you look at your item, you got Soul Dew. If held by Latios or Latias, its Dragon or Psychic type moves have 1×2 power. Super nice as well, because you do carry, Draco Meteor and Psychic on these Pokemon. You're going to be able to do big damage with that particular move. Now, the thing with this is you have a bunch of moves in this move pool. Like, it's a deep move pool. So you can replace Energy Ball based on the team you're running with things, like Thunderbolt or Shadow Ball, things of that nature. You're able to replace Energy Ball with if you need to, based on the team you're running. It's all based on that. So the Energy Ball is just there because most of the teams I'm running, I don't have great coverage options for things like Manaphy and other, water type Pokemon that could potentially pose problems. So I really like the Energy Ball bring. I like it. It does a lot of damage. So I just prefer that particular route. And, if they're expecting a Thunderbolt, like a water type Pokemon like Manaphy, and they switch in, a ground type to take that hit, Energy Ball still does super effective damage to that ground type. So I just prefer having the Energy Ball for me personally. Same deal over here on Latias. Now if we move on to the next set, this is just a choice spec set. If you want the big damage on all your moves and not just your Dragon and Psychic, this is the option you can run. It's the same EV spread. Again, Energy Ball can be rotated for whatever else you want. I recommend the rest of those because those are going to give you good coverage options, especially considering you're weak to Dragon. So Garchomp's going to potentially pose problems. Having that Ice Beam is very nice against other Dragon type Pokemon. But the choice specs will give you that extra damage you might be looking for with this particular Pokemon, which can be pretty nice. Same deal, Latios, same spread and all that. The final thing that I would recommend is Choice Scarf. Now, this is very situational because, a lot of the times you're going to be outspeeding most of the big Pokemon. The biggest thing with this is you're going to be able to outspeed those Alakazams and those Gengars that we talked about earlier, and that's going to help you out a lot. I would definitely recommend maybe rotating Shadow Ball in for this particular Pokemon set, because you have that extra speed. You're going to be able to knock those particular Pokemon out, which is going to give you a huge advantage and remove those big threats. Again, very situational bringing this particular item on this Pokemon, because I feel the other two are better, but this does have some uses. So in terms of the Pokemon that these work well with, there's a handful of Pokemon that these guys work well with, but the big ones are going to be any of the Pokemon that are going to suffer from any type of ground type attacks that are going to come their way. The big ones that come to mind are Infernape, Magnezone, which I just made a video regarding both of these Pokemon. These two Pokemon are going to benefit greatly from being with these Pokemon because they have Levitate. You rotate them in, they take no damage, boom. Problem solved. You avoid any of the big ground type hits, and because of the coverage options on these Pokemon, you're most likely going to be able to handle whatever they're using with these Pokemon. Now, other Pokemon that work really well with these are going to be anything that can take ice type attacks. So things like Glaceon can be very good with these Pokemon. You rotate Glaceon in, you take whatever ice hits coming that way. Most of the time, what I'm noticing is that a lot of the ice type attacks that you're seeing don't come from ice type Pokemon. They're coming from, like, you know, your water types. So, you know, having Glaceon with a freeze dry can prove to be very, very useful when rotating into an ice type attack. But also having, you know, a water type or something else that takes minimal ice damage is going to help dramatically. For example, if you look at the teams that I'm running these two on, if I roll down here, you're looking at this original Torterra team that I have a video on. Again, you're looking at Infernape, Magnezone, taking big ground type damage, rotate in Latios, you're going to mitigate all that kind of damage. Super nice there. If we go on and look at this particular team, little spoiler for the team, we have Latias here for a lot of the different coverage options. This isn't necessarily for switch-in stuff, but this is more for coverage stuff. So these two are just, even if you're not using them as a switch-in potential for a ground type attack or whatever it may be, these two Pokemon are still going to be so freaking powerful in a team that it's very easy to rotate them in no matter the circumstance. Now, in terms of Pokemon you need to be afraid of, like I mentioned earlier, Gengar is a speed tie. Max out Gengar's speed, give it that timid nature, and it's the exact same speed as these guys if you max it out and do the exact same thing. Maybe the drop down will work. There we go. Same deal is you're going to have the same speed. So it's dangerous Pokemon, especially if they decide to throw a scarf on this bad boy. You're going to be in a bad way. Next Pokemon you're really scared of, Alakazam. This Pokemon is just naturally faster. Like there's no way you're going to outspeed this without a choice scarf. So be afraid of this particular Pokemon. This Pokemon can ruin your day. Other Pokemon that can be a threat, Scizor and Infernape. These two Pokemon are kind of nuts in that regard. Simply because, one, Scizor is not going to take any real damage from Latios or Latias. You're not going to have to worry about Scizor getting knocked out from those Pokemon. So you easily can rotate a Scizor in. But the amount of damage that Scizor can do, plus it has access to U-turn and other bug type moves, that alone is going to do big damage to these particular Pokemon. And Infernape, same deal. I said that you're going to outspeed Infernape. If you look here and I throw on a Jolly Nature, you are still going to outspeed that Infernape. However, the Infernape I choose to run does use Choice Scarf because I like outspeeding stuff and having that element of surprise. So running this with U-turn into a Latios or Latias, you can do big chunks of damage from an Infernape, and most of those people are going to stay in with a Latios and Latias. They're going to see that. They're going to be, oh, we outspeed Infernape, no problem. They're going to stay in, try to use a Psychic, you U-turn, and you swap out. And then you just rinse and repeat, especially if you have a Scizor and Infernape on the same team. You just keep swapping back and forth between the two. There's nothing that they're going to be able to do. Other big threats are going to be things like Garchomp. You know, Garchomp is going to potentially pose problems just depending on the set. For example, my particular Garchomp set that I've run on so many occasions and I talk about in my Garchomp breakdown is the Yachi Berry. A lot of times people are going to look at Garchomp and they're going to have Latios Latias with an Ice Beam and they're going to go, I outspeed you and I have access to a 4 times super effective move against you. But my Yachi Berry Garchomp takes a hit from that and then uses Outrage and knocks out these Pokemon with no problem at all. So it's just something you really need to think about in terms of using Latios and Latias into Garchomp or other very powerful Dragon-type Pokemon like Dragonite. A Yachi Berry Dragonite can do the exact same thing. Yachi Berry Flygon can do the exact same thing. So that's all the stuff you need to think about in regards to keeping these in against certain Dragon-type Pokemon, is whether or not you're actually going to be able to take them out that turn. But that pretty much covers everything I have in regards to these two Pokemon. As I say in all these videos, these are not the set in stone movesets or EV spreads. These are just the stuff I've tested and had fun with. So I wanted to share with you guys to get your gears turning in terms of team building. But if you found the video entertaining and helpful, make sure you leave a like and smash that subscribe button for more Pokemon content like this in the future. And I hope to see you all in the next video.